There we go. Good evening, everyone. I'm now going to call the public hearing of Tuesday, October the 21st, 2025 to order. This meeting is being held in person and by electronic means. Council members and the public may participate by either method. Any members joining electronically are reminded to enable video to confirm quorum. The meeting is being live streamed on the city's website and YouTube, and meeting progress will be updated regularly on X at Van City Clerk. I would like to acknowledge that we're hosting today's public hearing on the unceded territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations, and I do want to thank them for their generosity and their hospitality and the love and care they show this great land that we get to live, work, and play on. I also want to acknowledge the incredible efforts of our amazing team at the City of Vancouver. We have a lot of people that are working incredibly hard to make the city a way better place, and just want to thank them from the bottom of our hearts. And so with that, can we please have a roll call?
Yes, Mayor Sim is in the chair. Councillor Kirby-Young has a leave of absence for civic business until 8 p.m. Councillor Dominato. Councillor Bly. Councillor Fry has a leave of absence for personal reasons from 6 p.m. onward. Councillor Montague. Councillor Klassen. Councillor Meisner. Councillor Joe.
Present.
Councillor Orr. Councillor Maloney. You have quorum, Mayor Sim.
Thank you very much. So before we begin, a few announcements. The public may speak in person or by phone, or may submit written comments to Mayor and Council. Speakers may only speak once and will have up to 5 minutes to comment on the merits of the application. Please state whether you support or oppose the recommendations, and if you are a resident of Vancouver. Those representing 4 or more individuals or groups, including themselves, may speak for up to 8 minutes. Each person being represented must confirm their presence in person or by phone and may not speak separately. Please follow the live stream or at Van City Clerk on X to track meeting progress and know when your turn to speak is approaching. Please note the live stream has a slight delay. Written comments can be submitted through the Mayor and Council public hearing feedback form linked on X. If you pre-registered with the presentation, say next to have the clerk advance your slides. A reminder, at public hearings, council acts as a quasi-judicial body and must focus solely on the merits of the rezoning or heritage application. Members may ask clarifying questions of team members or speakers, including the applicant, but should reserve debate until the speakers or after the speakers list has closed. After hearing from speakers, council may 1, approve the application in principle, 2, approve the application in principle with amendments, or 3, refuse the application, or 4, refer the application to team members for further consideration. Finally, if speakers are not heard this evening, the public hearing will recess and reconvene on Thursday, October the 23rd at 3 p.m. So the first item on the docket is number 1, enabling outdoor cold plunges and saunas, amendments to the zoning and development bylaw and license bylaw. Now, before we begin this agenda item, if anyone believes that they have a conflict of interest, now is the time to disclose it. Seeing no one's hands up, the clerk's now going to read the application and summary of correspondence received.
This is an application by the General Manager of Planning, Urban Design, and Sustainability to amend the zoning and development bylaw and the license bylaw to allow more opportunities to permit outdoor cold plunges and saunas in the city. Currently, cold plunges and saunas are only permitted in some zones and are not generally permitted outdoors. The proposed bylaw amendments will expand potential locations by allowing them outdoors and in all commercial and industrial zones. The following correspondence has been received since referral to the public hearing. 206 pieces of correspondence in support, and this represents all correspondence received up to 5 p.m. today.
Thank you very much. Now, this is the first call for speakers. Any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll-free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 1061445# before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and displayed during the recess. There will be an opportunity for new speakers and missed speakers to be heard at the end of the registered speakers list. Now, we do have our team members from Planning, Urban Design, and Sustainability here to present the application.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Karen Wong, Policy Planner. Tonight, I'll be presenting an application to enable outdoor cold plunges and saunas, amendments to the Zoning and Development Bylaw, and License Bylaw. In June 2024, Council directed staff to allow the operation of outdoor cold plunges and saunas and to engage with Vancouver Coastal Health to develop a regulatory framework for outdoor cold plunges and saunas. Currently in the Zoning and Development Bylaw, cold plunges and saunas are permitted in some commercial and industrial zones, and in some of these district schedules can only be indoors. In the license bylaw, there is dated language around steam baths, and the existing regulations do not reflect emerging business operations. To allow and expand outdoor cold plunges and saunas, 2 bylaws would be amended: the Zoning and Development Bylaw and the License Bylaw. I'll go over the details of these in the next few slides. The proposed Zoning and Development Bylaw changes are to revise the Beauty and Wellness Center definition to include thermal therapy, which would allow saunas. Right now, cold plunges are already allowed through hydrotherapy, which is in the definition. By adding thermal therapy, it will make it clear that saunas are also allowed. The second change is to add Beauty and Wellness Center, the land use, limited to hydrotherapy and thermotherapy. This will allow cold plunges and saunas to 12 industrial district schedules. This will also allow cold plunges and saunas in all commercial and industrial district schedules. The last proposed change is to permit this use in a building and/or outdoors. The proposed updates to the license bylaw are to remove the current regulations of the steam bath license category. The existing regulations are outdated and do not align with the current business practices. And the next change is to amend the Beauty and Wellness Center definition to add thermal therapy so that all saunas and cold plunges will be in the Beauty and Wellness Center license category. Engagement was conducted in 2 phases. The first phase was an online survey in May 2025 for the industry. The key conclusions from the survey were that there was a diversity in how and where businesses intended to operate, and the majority of businesses were interested in locating in parks. The second phase was a question and answer session in July 2025. City staff shared the draft changes and the permit processes with the industry for comments. Vancouver Coastal Health made a presentation and answered questions. Staff have also engaged with Vancouver Coastal Health throughout the process to understand their framework, approval processes, and approaches. In conclusion, staff are recommending that Council approve this application to amend the Zoning and Development Bylaw and License Bylaw to enable outdoor cold plunges and saunas in the city. City staff from Planning, Development, Buildings and Licensing, and Parks Board, as well as Vancouver Coastal Health, are available to answer questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, please note the applicant for this item is the GM of Planning, Urban Design and Sustainability. With that, does the applicant or the applicant's designate have a presentation?
No.
I know it's silly. I have to ask the question. Okay. Are there any questions from council to our team or the applicant? Councillor Dominato.
Thanks, Mayor. Thank you for the presentation. I just have a couple of clarifying questions. One was I received from an operator, and it was around with these regulatory changes, does a primary business have to be a wellness business, or it can be something else, so ancillary? So if you have let's say in a commercial area, because we did have this instance in a commercial area, you had a primary business that was not related to health and wellness, and then you had the secondary business of the cold plunge service kind of in the back part of the property. Is that permitted, where you have kind of that co-location of companies or businesses?
Thank you, Councillor, for your question. It's Karen Wong, Policy Planner. Yes, the new regulations are intended to be flexible, so they could co-locate with any business that's approved in that zone. So they just need to make sure they get the proper approvals and permits.
Okay, that's helpful. Okay, I think that addresses the question. And then the other question I had was, so you've identified sort of private property in both commercial industrial areas as well as parks, different processes. I'm curious, in your consultation, did the subject come up of on water, sort of shore-based, like because you've got examples in other communities like that where it's sort of floating just off the shore. Did that come up, and how would that be regulated or addressed?
That's a good question. Thank you for that. So we are expanding the opportunities to include waterfront properties. So they would just need to make sure that they get the proper permits and approvals. We would look at it on a site-by-site basis. We just have to see how far it goes into the water and exactly what their zoning is. So as long as the zoning permits that use, they'd be able to go in. Waterfront properties tend to have a bit more technical considerations than, say, a standard application in an established building. But these are just things that we would typically review for.
Okay, so that's effectively captured within these regulatory changes?
Exactly.
If someone had an interest, like, okay. And it sounds like, I know there's been some conversations already with parks around near beaches or even leveraging closed outdoor pool sites when they're during the winter months and the pools aren't being used. But I presume, again, that might be dealt with as a one-off, potentially.
So we do have staff here from our Parks Board who can speak on behalf of that.
Maybe they could, because I did field a request from someone overseas who had they were looking at, I think, making an unsolicited proposal to Park Board about, given our outdoor pools are closed largely throughout, most of the year, could that space be leveraged to have a kind of cold plunge and also saunas adjacent? And I'm just I'm not sure where that landed and where that be captured in here as well as a consideration.
Yeah, so I'm Octavio Silva. I'm the Associate Director for Business Development with the Park Board. So I can indicate that, our phase one right now is exploring the deployment of saunas and cold plunges at our beach locations. Phase two would entertain exploring the delivery of those services at potential pool locations, which are offline in the wintertime. So it looks like a very nice complementary potential experience and maybe building out some additional services. So that would be our phase two plan.
Okay. And last question, just because I know it happened, was that we had cold plunges operations adjacent to like some of our microbreweries and again, in industrial sites, again, kind of a co-location model that would also be permissible under this framework.
Sorry, I just had to lower this. Yes, that's correct. They can co-locate with breweries.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as it's a permitted use in the zone.
Okay. Thank you. That's all my questions for now. Thanks.
Councillor Maloney?
Yeah, I'm just interested to know, are you expecting that these changes will encourage a lot of new business applications? I mean, it does seem just anecdotally to be an incredibly popular service for people to take advantage of.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor, for your question. Yes, we've heard from our survey and from our question and answer session that there's quite a bit of interest in cold plunges and saunas, particularly at the parks and near beaches. We did have a smaller number that were interested in private property, so do we expect some there as well?
Great, that's all, thanks.
Thank you very much. Okay, this is the second call for speakers. If there are any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 1061445#. Before the close of the speakers list, the phone number will be posted on X and displayed during the recess. We're now going to hear from the public. Any registered speakers in the council chamber, please come forward to the podium when your name is called. Speakers will have 5 minutes to make their comments and should limit their comments to the merits of the application being considered. So now our first speaker today is speaker number 1, Julie Elaine Starelski. I hope I pronounced your name properly. Is Julie present? Oh, on the phone. Julie, are you on the phone?
Hi there, yes I am.
Hi, please go ahead.
Thank you. Hi there, yes I am.
Hi, please go ahead.
Perfect. So yes, myself and many friends are in support of amendments to this bylaws to enable outdoor cold plunges and saunas, really for two main reasons. This fosters community connection, health, and well-being, and it supports small businesses who typically face high costs for renting properties in the city. We've lost many wellness businesses such as yoga studios and acupuncture clinics during and post-COVID due to rising rents and costs. Thank you so much to staff for working on this, and I'm grateful to all of you. Enjoy your evening. Thank
you very much.
Thank you.
Speaker number 2 is Jonathan Chawla. I'm sorry, I mispronounced your name the first 9 times.
No, that's close enough.
Yeah.
Good evening, Mayor and Councillors. My name is Jonathan, and I'm here to express my strong support for the bylaw updates that would enable small-scale community sauna and cold plunge places in Vancouver. These spaces are not just about wellness, they're about connection. At Gatherwell, we've seen how saunas help people build real community, reduce isolation, and offer a healthy, alcohol-free way to gather during our long rainy seasons. They also create opportunities for small local businesses to make use of underutilized outdoor spaces, especially in the winter. At Gatherwell, we were behind another business that was facing high tax costs. They were a small two-story building on Broadway, and they were being taxed on the best and highest use of that property, which is probably 20 stories plus. And so we were able to help offset some of those costs with our business. So this bylaw update is a simple, practical step towards a warmer, healthier, and more connected Vancouver. Thank you for considering it.
Thank you very much. Okay. If there are any additional speakers in the chamber, please come forward to the podium. Clerk, are there any additional speakers online?
There are not.
Thank you. Okay, so this is the third and final call for speakers. If there are any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 106-1445# before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and displayed during the recess. We're now going to take a 2-minute recess for any additional speakers to come in or come forward to the podium. Uh, 20 seconds. Okay, we're back. Clerk, do we have any additional speakers in the chamber or online?
We do not.
Okay, seeing no further speakers, the speakers list is now closed. Clerk, has there been a large volume of public comments received on this item since 5 p.m.?
There has not been.
Okay. Seeing that there are few or no public comments received after 5 p.m., I'm now going to close the receipt of public comments. Does the applicant have any closing comments? I'm going to ask another silly question. Do our team members have any closing comments?
No, we don't. Thank you.
Does council have any final questions for our team, noting that no additional questions to the applicant are permitted? I know that sounds silly, but there we go. Councillor Dominato?
No, I don't have any further questions. I was just prepared to move the recommendations.
Okay, then give me 1 sec. I'm just going to stop your timer. Clerk, did we receive any additional public comments since the close of public comments?
We did not.
Okay, thank you. So, council, we're now going to make a decision on the application. Councillor Dominato moved the recommendation. Is there a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Klassen. Sorry. Oh, Sorry, too late. We got it. Thanks. Next time. Council members, is there any discussion? Councillor Dominato.
Yeah, I just want to, a couple of things. I say one, thanks to our staff for their work on this. And thank you for the engagement of the sector because it was really, the genesis of this was, as you've heard from Jonathan, who are already sort of in operation. And I think it's a really good example of how whether it's business or technology that sometimes moves at a faster pace than government regulation. And it's just a matter of catch up. It's not that we don't want to do things and enable, it's that the regulatory framework is outdated. And there's been a huge interest in the cold plunge sauna space. And so I just want to say thank you to the staff. Thank you to all the community members who are, wanting to do this and have the vision and have been persistent. Because I was citing some examples in my questions because after bringing the motion to council, I had many people reach out and say, oh, we've been wanting to do this, but we want to do it here, and we want to do it there. How do we go about it? And I think it really speaks volumes to not only, we talked about sort of there's health and wellness benefits, but also, as Jonathan touched on, the connectivity, connecting to other people, the social aspect, but also adding value to our city. We often talk about, urban living and how do we enjoy our city, the elements of livability. And people are looking for activities like this to gather. I do more of an ocean cold plunge. That's what I'm known for. Did one actually just recently, was at UBCM in Victoria. But for me personally, I found there's major benefits. But at the end of the day, what we're trying to achieve here is to have an enabling framework so that small businesses like Gatherwell and others can thrive and offer something unique for residents of Vancouver and others who come here, who visit, because we're going to have lots of visitors too in the next year with FIFA. And so I'm incredibly pleased to see this come forward, and of course I'll be supporting it. But yeah, thank you to everyone who was persistent and reached out to me, and those who connected me with the operators, because I think it was going to add great value to the city and make it even more livable. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Seeing no one else in the queue, I am now going to call the vote. If we can please go to the voting screen. Council, if you can register your vote. Yes,
Point of privilege, can I have an enthusiastic vote in favor, please?
sure.
Vote assist.
Vote assist.
Thank you.
And
I'm there. Can I have a
and
vote,
Councillor
a vote in
Meisner,
favor?
sorry, Councillor Meisner, we need your video on, please. And sorry, what was that, Councillor Bly?
Thank you, Mayor. If I could get a vote assist in favor.
You sure can. Great. And so that passes unanimously. Great. That completes item number 1. Congrats. So moving along, thank you very much. Moving along, item number 2, modernizing business license land uses and policies, amendments to the zoning and development bylaw, downtown official development plan bylaw, and license bylaw. So before we begin, does anybody wish to declare a conflict of interest? Seeing no one putting up their hands, the clerk is now going to read the application and the summary of correspondence received.
This is an application by the General Manager of Planning, Urban Design, and Sustainability in consultation with the General Manager of Development, Buildings, and Licensing to amend the Zoning and Development Bylaw, the Downtown Official Development Plan Bylaw, and the License Bylaw to ensure the city's rules and regulations are relevant, meaningful, and adaptable. The proposed bylaw amendments expand the potential locations for arcade, adult retail store, and restaurants. And this is a Class 2. By allowing these uses in more commercial zones. Additionally, the amendments remove outdated restrictions on age of entry and hours of operation, specifically for arcade and adult retail store. The following correspondence has been received since referral to the public hearing. 1 piece of correspondence in support, and this represents all correspondence received up to 5 p.m. today.
Thank you very much. Okay, this is the first call for speakers. Any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 106-1445 before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and displayed during the recess. There will be an opportunity for new speakers and missed speakers to be heard at the end of the registered speakers list. Now, we do have our team members from Planning, Urban Design, and Sustainability here to present the application. There are no registered speakers for this item, so council may waive the presentation if they so see fit. And does anybody wish to waive? Was that a waive? No, okay. Great. Is there a seconder? Great. Councillor Klassen, is there any discussion? Councillor Maloney?
Sorry, I'd like to hear the presentation if you don't
Okay.
mind. Thanks.
Then that's fine. We will hear the presentation. Please go ahead.
Sorry. Apologies, it's not loading. Sorry, one moment. Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Haley Hoyka, and I am planner with Citywide and Regional Planning. The presentation I will be sharing with you will provide an overview of proposed updates to modernize the city's land use and business license regulations. In March 2024, Council directed staff to bring forward amendments to modernize the city's rules and regulations related to 3 types of businesses. The regulations for arcade, adult retail stores, and restaurant class 2 were identified as being outdated and unnecessarily restrictive, and therefore hindering businesses. The amendments recommended in this report will make it easier for these businesses to open, operate, and succeed more easily. The proposed changes include updates to the Zoning and Development Bylaw, the Downtown Official Development Plan Bylaw, and the License Bylaw to expand potential locations to more commercial zones and to remove outdated restrictions related to arcade and adult retail stores. The updates reflect shifting public views, new technologies, and evolving business models. The first set of amendments recommended in the report relate to arcade use, which was introduced in the 1980s to address issues related to youth at the time. Many of the initial arcade regulations remain, and as a use, it's currently only permitted in a limited number of zones. It's also defined as a premises that has 4 or more arcade machines, meaning any business with 4 or more machines needs to apply for a development permit for arcade use, even if that is not the main focus of their business. In order to provide more options for businesses, the proposal is to expand arcade as a use to all commercial zones to create more opportunities for where arcades can be located. The amendments proposed today would also remove the reference to 4 or more arcade machines that triggers the arcade use. This would mean a restaurant or bar or other use that has arcade machines, not as the main use, would be allowed without having to go through a development permit process. The arcade use definition is also proposed to be updated to include virtual reality rooms in response to this newer business type. Staff are also proposing amendments to the license bylaw to reduce and simplify regulations and allow for greater business flexibility. This includes removing many outdated regulations related to age of entry, limits on business hours, and requirements to post patron rules of conduct for arcades. We're also proposing minor amendments to similar business license types, such as shooting gallery, entertainment center, and games room to align with arcade. The next regulation reviewed was adult retail, which was introduced in the 90s due to the concentration of these types of businesses that were popping up in the downtown core.
restrictions on proximity to sensitive uses such as schools and other adult retail stores, as well as restrictions on age of entry and display of adult goods were also introduced at this time and still remain today. As a conditional use, adult retail businesses are subject to frequent renewal. In response to Council's direction to modernize the city's regulations and allow stores selling a variety of goods to have flexibility to sell adult retail goods, several updates are recommended. These updates include removing the adult retail store use and allowing stores selling adult goods to do so under the general retail store use, removing the requirement for DP renewals, removing restrictions on co-location with arcades and limits to store size and frontage. This report also recommends repealing the adult retail store guidelines. These changes will allow businesses to not renew every year and flexibility on where they locate. In addition to the proposed land use updates, this report also recommends removing adult retail store as a business license type. This change would mean adult retail stores would be licensed as a retail store. Restrictions on age of entry and hours of operations, as well as restrictions on indoor display of adult publications, are also proposed to be removed. The restrictions on this display of adult goods in store windows in the license bylaw would remain. The final business regulation reviewed was Restaurant Class 2. Karaoke, dancing, and open mic performing are considered patron participation activities in the Zoning and Development Bylaw. Patron participation is what differentiates Restaurant Class 1 from 2. Restaurant Class 2 is permitted in many commercial or mixed-use zones across the city, but not all of them. The commercial areas of the city where Restaurant Class 2 is not permitted are mainly outside of the downtown core. It's important to note that restaurants and with liquor service are required by the province to obtain a patron participation endorsement on their liquor licenses. In order to remove barriers for restaurants that would like to offer karaoke, dancing, and open mic, the proposed amendments include expanding where Restaurant Class 2 is allowed to areas of the city where neighborhood public house and cabaret are permitted uses, as they also allow for patron participation. In developing the proposed regulatory changes for arcade, adult retail, and Restaurant Class 2, the city consulted with business associations, licensing experts, Vancouver Police Department, Vancouver Coastal Health, and Vancouver School Board. The comments are summarized in the report. The proposed changes in this report respond to Council's motion to modernize the city's business regulations and will increase flexibility by reducing regulatory barriers, expanding permitted locations, and simplifying requirements for arcade, adult retail, and Restaurant Class 2. City staff are available to answer questions.
Thank you very much. Please note that the applicant for this item is the GM of Planning, Urban Design, and Sustainability. With that, does the applicant or the applicant's designate have a presentation?
No.
Are there any questions from council to our team or the applicant, noting that this is the only opportunity for council to ask questions of the applicant? That sounds silly, but Councillor Dominato.
Thanks, Mayor. Thank you for the updates. I have a clarifying question, particularly around the restaurants and the patron participation. So just for that expansion beyond the downtown core. So if, just a case in point, so if we have restaurants in other neighborhoods outside the downtown that are having, they're offering food and beverage, but then towards later in the evening, they have DJ and patrons are dancing, that'll be permitted. And I can think of a couple of businesses that were probably doing this and having their wrist slapped because they had people dancing. And I'm just curious if that would sort of address that gap, which was like, again, there was no harm, but people were kind of getting up and standing at the end of the evening and dancing in a restaurant. Is that what this basically gets at?
This will allow that in terms of land use, but there's still a process with the province that they have to go through to obtain that patron participation endorsement, and that does include a requirement to do a neighborhood consultation. So there is still a step they would need to do in order to do that, and they would have to ensure they have the Restaurant Class 2 use.
Okay, so it's creating, we're enabling, but there's still the provincial component to it.
Exactly.
Is there on the, and actually that brings me, that's a good question, just on the subject of the arcades, is there any provincial role on the arcade side? It's strictly city level.
Not that I'm aware of. Maybe I'll just, no.
Okay, that's all my questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so this is the second call for speakers. If there are any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 1061445#. Before the close of the speakers list, the phone number will be posted on X and displayed during the recess. We're now going to hear from the public. Any registered speakers in council, in the council chamber, can you please come forward to the podium when your name is called? Speakers will have up to 5 minutes to make their comments and should limit their comments to the merits of the report being considered. Clerk, do we have any registered speakers online or in person to provide comments to this item?
We do not, Mayor.
Okay. If there are any additional speakers in the chamber, please come forward to the podium. Sorry, I can skip that again. All right. This is the third and final call for speakers. If there are any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 1061445# before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and displayed during the recess. So we're now going to take a 2-minute recess for any additional speakers to call in or come forward to the podium. Please quorum. Do we have quorum? 1, 2, 3, 4. Councillor Meisner, Joe, you can turn our cameras on, that'd be great. 1, 2, 3, 4. We need one more. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so Clerk, do we have any additional speakers in the chamber or online?
We do not.
Okay, seeing no further speakers, the speakers list is now closed. Clerk, has there been a large volume of public comments received on this item since 5 p.m.?
There has not been.
Okay, so seeing that there are few or no public comments as I received after 5, I'm now going to close receipt of public comments. Does the applicant have any closing comments? I know this is silly, but do our team members have any closing comments?
No, we don't.
Thank you. Does council have any final questions for our team, noting that no additional questions to the applicant are permitted? I don't know how we're going to adjudicate that, but that's okay. Nope, seeing no one in the queue. Clerk, did we receive any additional public comments since the close of public comments?
We have not.
Thank you. So council will now make its decision on this application. Do we have a mover? Okay, Councillor Dominato, seconded by Councillor Klassen. Council, is there any discussion? Councillor Dominato.
Yeah, just to reflect, I'm again really pleased to see this coming forward in the spirit of supporting our small businesses. It wasn't actually that long ago. Oh, well, it was actually long ago, a year and a half ago. A resident had approached me about this notion of arcade space, but some of the restrictions, which involved age and it just seemed very archaic and antiquated. And again, back to sometimes just the world's changing around us. And so I think there's going to be a lot of interest in this. And also the shift around the restaurants, class 2, and the patron participation. Again, this was coming up from businesses I was talking with, restaurants that I think were getting into a little bit of trouble. And so I think, just the modernizing of our regulations and better enabling, again, supporting small businesses in the city and cutting some of that red tape, which was, I think, one of the intentions that we've had all along this term, to make it easier to do business in the city, not harder. And so I think some of these changes, again, are another win for small business. So just, again, thanks to staff for working this through and bringing it forward.
Thank you very much, Councillor Maloney.
Yeah, thanks. I'd like to thank you for your presentation. It was well worth it. And thanks to Councillor Dominato for echoing my thoughts on this. It seems really sensible, and I appreciate staff's work on it. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm now going to call the vote. If we can please go to the voting screen, and if you can please register your vote.
Mayor, it's Councillor Bly. If I could get a vote assist in favor, please.
Absolutely. Thank you. Great, and that passes unanimously. So that completes item number 2. Again, thank you very much for all your hard work. Okay, moving right along, item number 3, rezoning 678 West 30th Avenue. Before we begin this item, does anybody wish to declare a conflict of interest? Seeing no one in the queue and no one's hands up, the clerk's now going to read the application and summary of correspondence received.
This is an application by B Squared Architecture Incorporated to rezone 678 West 30th Avenue from R1-1 Residential Inclusive District to RM-8A Multiple Dwelling District to permit a townhouse development with a maximum floor space ratio of 1.2. The General Manager of Planning, Urban Design, and Sustainability recommends approval, subject to conditions set out in the summary and recommendation. No correspondence has been received on this application since it was referred to the public hearing.
Thank you very much. Now, this is the first call for speakers. Any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 1061445#. Before the close of the speakers list, the phone number will be posted on X and displayed during the recess. There will be an opportunity for new speakers and missed speakers to be heard at the end of the registered speakers list. Now, we do have team members from Planning, Urban Design, and Sustainability here to present the application.
We just need to request access to share the screen.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Esther Ewan, and I'm the rezoning planner for this townhouse application under the Canby Corridor Plan. This townhouse rezoning is to an RM8A zone under the Canby Corridor Plan. This application is not a custom CD1, so no form of development is required at the rezoning stage. This application falls within Tier 3 of the King Edward Station transit-oriented area, which permits up to 8 stories and a density of 3.0 FSR. The applicant is aware of this option and would like to proceed under the Cambie Corridor Plan. This proposal aligns with the Cambie Corridor Plan and the Housing Vancouver strategy by contributing to the diversity of Vancouver's housing stock. Townhouse and row house opportunities provide ground-oriented housing opportunities with outdoor space and offer home ownership opportunities. While drawings are not required at the rezoning stage, examples of townhouses and row houses are shown on screen for reference. The site, outlined in red, is comprised of one legal parcel along 30th Avenue with a single detached house. The site and surrounding area includes a single detached houses, townhouses, and 6-story apartment buildings zoned at CD1. BC Women's and Children's Hospital are west of the site, and Queen Elizabeth Park is east of the site. The site contains one rental tenancy, and the city's tenant relocation and protection policy is not applicable to a single lot redevelopment. The property is located within the Queen Elizabeth neighborhood of the Cambie Corridor, and the proposal is for townhouses up to 3 stories with a maximum density of 1.2 FSR. The community was notified of this rezoning application, and 5 responses were received from the public. They expressed support for more housing, housing affordability, and proximity to transit and green spaces. No comments of concern were received. If approved, this project will provide approximately $400,000 in public benefits through a density bonus zone contribution and development cost levies. In conclusion, this proposal aligns with the Cambie Corridor Plan, and staff support this application to rezone to RM8A zone. Staff and the applicant team are available to answer questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Would the applicant like to present the application if in attendance?
Not this time.
Okay, great, thank you. Are there any questions from council to our team members or the applicant, noting that this is the only opportunity for council to ask questions of the applicant? Okay, seeing no one in the queue. This is the second call for speakers. If there are any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 106-1445# before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and displayed during the recess. We're now going to hear from the public. Any registered speakers in the council chamber, please come forward to the podium when your name is called. Speakers will have 5 minutes to make their comments and should limit their comments to the merits of the report being considered. So our first speaker today is speaker number 1, Sarah McLeod. There you go. Hi, Sarah.
All right, thank you for the opportunity to speak. Oh my gosh, I just wanted to come here and show you guys the photos of these trees, basically, because they're beautiful and amazing. And from the moment I moved here, I've been in love with them. I have way more photos on my phone of these trees, but you have to go in person. They're so great. It doesn't do it justice. Yeah, I mean, I wrote down other because I wasn't sure, like it wasn't clear in the referral report if these trees were going to try to be kept, but I've talked with the applicant, so I feel very excited and happy to know that sounds like they're going to try to keep them, because, or at least one. If you can keep them all, that's amazing. They're all great. Yeah, and I just wanted to have the opportunity today to show people what was there, because I really think they're like, this property is punching above its weight for the rest of the area when it comes to trees. Next slide, please. That's just another great angle of it. Next slide, please. Yeah, because with the, and also I noticed that under the council authority, it wasn't noted that like the urban forestry strategy wasn't noted as a council authority. And right now in that area, the South Cambie area, and this is based on 2022 data, the canopy is just at 23%, so it's below the goal of 30%. And I mean, technically speaking, for a healthy Pacific Northwest, people say it should be 40%, but, and then this is just from 2022. So if you go to the next slide, I, again, just came here to say that I think this area is punching above its weight, and I'm so thankful for it, because it's like, I'm not kidding, guys. Go there. It's so great to see these trees in person. And for example, if you go to the next slide, just across the street from it, the photo below is from 2022, so that's the last data we have of the canopy in the area, which was 23% at the time. So it's not even taking into consideration what is right across the street from there, where you can see the canopy is less. So we know we don't have updated numbers when it comes to that. So I'm just very concerned about when we do get updated numbers on the canopy, that will even be below the 23%. Because this is just one example. I mean, there's tons of examples in that South Canby area of where trees have been just taken down in the past 8 months. So I'm kind of worried about when we see those updated numbers. Next slide. So yeah, I mean, that tree right in the middle is like one of the trees there. It doesn't matter where you are, down one way of the street or the other way, like it's just stands out. You see eagles flying and landing on it. The amount of life and the amount of birds singing, it's just something that I think if you can try to keep, which it sounds like you should, because it just does, it gives back to the community. I know it's, a private property, but that kind of is an amenity to the community, is getting to see nature living where it can. And then I just had one comment, if you go to the next slide, about the simplified rezoning process. So this is a project at 28th and Ash. And so they had 5 or 6 trees that were supposed to be protected, and it was under the same simplified rezoning process. And this was mid-May. And then if you go to the next slide, please, they've gotten rid of all of those trees that had tree protected barriers around them. So I don't know where in the process that happened. So I just came here to advocate or ask that whatever you can do to keep it, like I said, I'm really worried about getting back what the canopy will be, updated since 2022. And I know it's tough. My landlord is a builder, and I've had conversations with him about trees and how it's so tough to build around trees and all that stuff. And in my old industry, we would see kind of constraints and things that would hold us back on doing what we wanted to do as opportunities to be creative. And at least talking to the architect, it sounds like they are going to be creative. It's the most creative thing I've heard. So I hope that I get the little flyer for the development application, because I'd love to see it. Otherwise, it's hard looking at these photos that aren't really.
And sir, I'm sorry, we're at time.
Yeah, no,
But
for
thank
sure.
you.
Cool, thanks for the opportunity.
Awesome. Okay, so if there are any additional speakers in the chamber, please come forward to the podium. Clerk, are there any additional speakers online?
There are not.
Okay, thank you. This is the third and final call for speakers. If there are any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 106-1445 #. Before the close of the speakers list, the phone number will be posted on X and displayed during the recess. We're now going to take another 2-minute recess for any additional speakers to come in or come forward or come to the podium. Thank you. That was minutes. Three, 4, 5. We're good? Okay. Okay, so Clerk, do we have any additional speakers in the chamber or online?
We do not, Mayor.
Okay, seeing no further speakers, the speakers list is now closed. Has there been a large volume of public comments received on this item since 5 p.m.?
There has not been.
Okay, seeing that there are few or no public comments received after 5 p.m., I'm now going to close receipt of public comments. Does the applicant have any closing comments? Okay, sure.
My name is Brian Billingsley, architect. I'm the applicant for this job. I might just go a little bit higher here if you can. Thank you. Yeah, we've already liaised with planning so far to get a preliminary proposal for saving the tree because we know it's going to be a contentious issue. It's City of Vancouver and trees are not a easy thing to deal with, but we've already figured it all out. So it's not as if I'm going to present a design for you right now. I'm just looking for the, a right RM8 zoning, density, height, use, all that kind of stuff. But Esther and I have already spoken. Karen, the RM8 planner, she's already sort of given us a good stamp of approval to proceed. So we're going to be heading into development permit as soon as we get the approval from council here. And yeah, we respect trees. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Do our team members have any closing comments?
Staff do not have any closing comments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Does council have any final questions for the team members, noting that no additional questions to the applicant are permitted? Councillor Maloney.
Yeah, thank you to the applicant architect for clarifying the position about the trees, and I hope that is helpful to the public speaker who asked those questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Clerk, did we receive any additional public comments since the close of public comments?
We have not, Mayor.
Okay, council will now make its decision on the application. Do we have a mover? Great, Councillor Dominato, seconded by Councillor Claassen. Thank you very much. Council members, is there any discussion? Seeing no one in the queue, I'm now going to call the vote. Can we please go to the voting screen? Council, if you can please register your vote. And does anybody need a vote assist? No. Okay, that passes unanimously. And that completes item number 3. Congratulations. Okay, moving right along. Item number 4, CD-1 rezoning, 11 to 15 East 4th Avenue. Before we begin this agenda item, if anyone believes that they have a conflict of interest, can they please disclose it? Seeing no one's hands up, we're going to move right along. The clerk will now read the application and summary of correspondence received.
This is an application by Oxford Properties Group to rezone 11 to 15 East 4th Avenue from I-1 Industrial District to CD-1 Comprehensive Development District to permit the development of an 8-story mixed-use building containing the industrial and office space, with retail space on the ground floor. A floor space ratio of 6.3 and a height of 46.5 meters, or 153 feet, are proposed. The General Manager of Planning, Urban Design, and Sustainability recommends approval, subject to conditions set out in the summary and recommendation. The following correspondence has been received since referral to the public hearing. 2 pieces of correspondence in support. And this represents all correspondence received at 5 p.m. today.
Thank you very much. Now, this is the first call for speakers. Any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 1061445 # before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and displayed during the recess. There will be an opportunity for new speakers and missed speakers to be heard at the end of the registered speakers list. Now, we do have our team members from Planning, Urban Design, and Sustainability here to present the application.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Susanna Ruhl, and I'm the rezoning planner for this application considered under the Broadway Plan. The site, shown in red, is located on the northeast corner of East 4th Avenue and Ontario Street. It is zoned I1, as are surrounding sites in the Mount Pleasant industrial area, with a mix of industrial and CD1 zoning nearby. The surrounding blocks contain mainly industrial and office buildings, ranging in height from 2 to 6 stories, with newer developments allowed up to 11 stories. The site currently contains one 2-story industrial and office building. The site is well served by transit, with major bus service and bikeways nearby. It is within 800 meters of 4 current and future subway stations. Jonathan Rogers Park, community and cultural spaces, as well as restaurants and breweries, are also located nearby. The site is located in the Mount Pleasant Industrial Area, Area A. The plan permits mixed-use industrial and office buildings up to 6 FSR and up to 11 stories to intensify the traditional light industrial function of the area. It requires a minimum of 3 FSR of floor space to be industrial. The industrial uses included mirror those of the I1 zone. The application was submitted in October 2024 and revised in July 2025. The proposal is for an 8-story mixed-use building that will contain industrial and office uses with retail on the ground floor and a small privately owned public space. The applicant proposes a density of 6.3 FSR. A virtual Q&A period was held with 17 pieces of correspondence received. Comments of support were for the proposed uses as they will benefit the neighborhood by increasing the industrial, office, and retail spaces available. People appreciate the height and density given the local context and the building design chosen. Concerns were related to the industrial nature of the project, which is perceived as not improving the livability of the area and contributing to the lack of people after hours. The public benefits of this application consist of the commercial linkage fee, DCLs, as well as a public art contribution with a value of almost $4.8 million. In conclusion, this proposal aligns with the Broadway plan and advances the city's need for more employment space. It also delivers a privately owned public space. Staff recommend approval, subject to conditions outlined in Appendix B of the report. Staff and the applicant team are available to answer questions. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Would the applicant like to present the application if in attendance?
Hi there. Good evening. No presentation, just a few comments to add. Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Andrew O'Neill. I'm the Vice President of Development at Oxford Properties Group. We're the owner and applicant of the rezoning of 11 to 15 East 4th Avenue in Mount Pleasant. It's a pleasure to be with you this evening and to have our application considered at this meeting. First off, I'd like to thank staff. We've had the privilege of working with this team since 2023 when we filed our rezoning inquiry. Throughout the application review process, we appreciated their openness to dialogue on key issues and willingness to collaborate with us to ultimately arrive at the development proposal that you're considering this evening. We're very supportive of the recommendation from staff to rezone the subject property to Comprehensive Development District, CD-1. That said, as you are aware, we have provided a written submission for your consideration this evening. In our submission, we are seeking a targeted amendment to the CD-1 bylaw to allow digital industry, and more specifically, digital entertainment and information communication technology, often shortened to DEICT, to occupy up to 100% of the floor area above the ground floor of the building. In our view, the Mount Pleasant industrial area has incredible potential to continue to flourish as a technology cluster and accommodate significant job growth and job density. However, that growth is likely to come from the innovation economy. Modern industrial uses such as digital industry, which is compatible with planning policy, including the Metro Vancouver Regional Growth Strategy, which contemplates innovative industry in the industrial land use definition, is compatible with the proposed built form for the development, and it's compatible with the needs and expectations of fast-growing businesses who require the flexibility to expand their workforce without having to relocate. We have elaborated on our rationale in our written submission, so I'll close my comments by respectfully requesting your consideration of our proposed amendment to the CD-1 bylaw. I remain available to answer any questions you have. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Are there any questions from council to our team members or the applicant, noting that this is the only opportunity for council to ask questions of the applicant? Councillor Clausen.
Yeah, thanks very much, Mayor. I find this project to be very interesting. I just stepped out late today to speak to a room full of about 150 tech innovators that are here for the Frontier Collective event, and a lot of them from abroad, but many that are from here. I also had a chance to sit down with the CEO of the BC Tech Association last Friday, who reminded me that their sector is creating 30,000 jobs per year. They're the largest growth for. We have an absolute imperative. I currently sit as the chair of our economic growth task force, and I am absolutely resolved to try and make sure that we actually try and grow our economy locally, and this is one way we can do it. This particular location is in an area that I think a lot of us are very familiar with. It's a safe, friendly place with brew pubs nearby. It has access to major transit infrastructure. Obviously, there's housing in the area as well. But I have been talking to our staff to just try and find out a bit more about. So let me just ask you right now. Speaking to you, Andrew, I know that you want the whole site to be available for digital. There may be, from what I'm hearing, there might be a way of getting some of that industrial space for the digital inclusion. I'll just call it digital instead of the acronym. And I'm just kind of wondering if the best we can do today is a phased approach on this one, where we get that started. Is that sort of better than nothing? I mean, I realize you came here asking for all those industrial floors to be turned over, and I'll be turning questions to staff as well. I may have to ask for an extended time, but maybe you can answer that question.
So a couple points. Ground floor will be retail. So we want to contribute to that environment at street level. Patios, we have a POPs included in our plan. For the floors above street level, one of the challenges we see is with the feasibility of accommodating what is traditional industrial, which is how the definition calls for industrial today. We're open to working with staff. We're open to continuing that dialogue. If that's a phased approach, we're open to it. We've had very collaborative experience with staff to date. But we are concerned about the feasibility of the narrow definition that we see for the industrial land use currently.
Okay, thanks very much. I might have to turn to staff now. Thanks, Andrew, for that for those responses. Can I just talk to you just about these potential change of uses? I know that we're in intensive conversations with Metro Vancouver and the regional growth strategy and all of those things. But is there a threshold where we can make an amendment here to request a change that would not trigger a lot of problems with Metro?
I would like to call Tori to the stand almost set.
Thanks very much. And I may end up having to ask for an extension or do a second round questions possibly. Anyway, thanks, one.
Thank you. Hi, Mayor and Council. I'm Tori Montgomery. I'm on the Employment Lands team. So there would be a way to do that. Our first option is to review this through the Mount Pleasant Industrial Area, which would holistically look at the industrial area and see where employment spaces should go and what's the mix between industrial and employment or office. But if there is interest in doing a two-stepped approach, what we could do is we could potentially reduce the amount of floor area dedicated to industrial in the building. I believe Metro would still like to see a 1 FSR dedication to industrial in order to stay on side with their industrial designation. But because this proposal has 3 FSR of industrial, we could potentially reduce it down. So then the DEICT would still be able to work on those floors. It just wouldn't necessarily be dedicated industrial space. It would be more of like the flex employment.
Okay. And I know that companies like Hootsuite are like a block away.
Yes.
Just with the 30 seconds I have left here, and I probably will maybe call for a short recess so I can draft an amendment. If this sort of phased approach happens, does it give us more time to go back and work with Metro and talk about the details about whether we want inclusion for more digital services in this area?
Yes, that would be correct. That would be done through the Mount Pleasant review, and then this application could still move forward.
Okay, thanks very much. I'm just not very conscious of the procedure we have next year, but I will need a few minutes to actually draft an amendment for the end of this, Mayor.
Okay. So Clerk, do we take a 2-minute recess? Or do we listen to speakers first? Go to speakers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
That'll
We'll go to
give you
speakers,
time.
and I'll work on it while I'm doing that. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you very much. Okay. Thank you, Councillor Clausen. This is the second call for speakers. If there are any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 1061445#. Before the close of the speakers list, the phone number will be posted on Xfinity and displayed during the recess. We're now going to hear from the public. Any registered speakers in the council chamber, please come forward to the podium when your name is called. Speakers will have up to 5 minutes to make their comments and should limit their comments to the merits of the report being considered. Our first speaker today is speaker number 1, Neil Wiles. Neil here?
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Excellent. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Neil Wiles of the Mount Pleasant BAA. I'm here to speak in support of Oxford Properties rezoning request for the property on East 4th and to include digital entertainment and information communication technology as an industrial use in this area. I actually think the last part of this request does not go far enough. This area is empty. There are a few new buildings, but mostly for lease signs. I did a quick Google search today in preparation for this, so bear with me. The first 4 industrial spaces for purchase in the area, $999 per square foot, $1,200 per square foot, $1,192, and the last one is a whopping $2,613 per square foot. 2 places over near Venables and Clark, $571 per square foot and $842. And in Surrey, less than $500 per square foot. And we don't need to mention the commercial property tax difference between Surrey and Vancouver. Industry has moved on, at least the industry that used to be here. It's time for a new plan. 2 of the large businesses that I was familiar with when I was in the hospitality industry moved away. They didn't close, they just left the area. The Linen Company, I believe, was there for nearly a century. They're now in Surrey. Don't get me wrong, we need industrial lands. Just time has moved on for the outdated industrial definition in this particular area. There used to be log booms in False Creek and trains in Yaletown. We're not holding out for these to come back. No amount of magical thinking is going to bring them back. We need to adapt and adjust. I understand there's going to be a 500-room hotel development proposal at 4th and Main, a couple of blocks away. We need hotels. Perhaps a building could be 2 things at once. Offices for people to work and a hotel, or homes and a technology industrial job. We need to be creative. It was only a short time ago when we realized a business could be a coffee bar in the daytime and a wine bar at night. We have a community center and a public library underneath a residential building in Mount Pleasant. We're facing a housing crisis, and we have been for ages. We have a hotel room shortage. We need more of those as well. This area is surrounded by SkyTrain stations. Upon the Mount Pleasant station completion, the area will have Main Street Science World, Olympic Village, City Hall, Mount Pleasant, and 6 if you count VCC, Clark, and Great Northern Way. This area is 1 or 2 stops away from major venues in the downtown core on our transit line. This area is the poster child for transit-oriented development. We're falling behind and we're not thinking outside of the box. Thank you very much for your time. I understand I'm the only speaker, so enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. My name is Dan Jordan. I'm a commercial real estate broker with CBRE, and I'm a Vancouver resident as well. And I'm speaking in support of this rezoning and in support of the inclusion of DEICT into the definitions for this area. I've been an active broker in the Mount Pleasant area for over 20 years, leasing and selling industrial and office spaces. This building would add much needed employment space to the area. As the area has evolved over the years, away from heavier industrial uses and towards more modern industries, there's demand for medical, life sciences, and technology companies in this area. But often the most forward-thinking industries aren't accounted for by current zoning and use definitions. I appreciate that the city has an idea of what uses the area should include, but sometimes can be perhaps standing in their own way a little bit with overly prescriptive uses. I see that Oxford has requested additional uses like DEICT to be added into the bylaw for this area, and I think that makes a ton of sense. Especially in the light of the mayor's motion around exceptional sites. Mount Pleasant is evolving and has evolved, and allowing additional uses would be a huge help in attracting and growing businesses in Vancouver, which would bring additional high-paying jobs in the tech and other forward-thinking industries. Bylaws and specificity around uses are presenting some barriers that are prohibiting the exact type of users that we would probably want to see in this area. We need those definitions to broaden to allow for future uses and uses we can't even predict today. Technology changes so quickly; it's very hard to even predict what industry might look like in 3, 4, 5 years from now. Anecdotally, I've seen instances where companies wanting to locate in the area, if they have people working at desks doing digital animation for film or television, that's okay. But if you have people working at desks doing animation for a video game, that's not okay. So I think we need to, broaden these uses to bring some sensibility back to that. I see outright approved uses for the area that are ice manufacturing or tobacco manufacturing. Certainly, we've moved on from those kinds of industries, I think, in urban environments like this. It doesn't align with how people are working or how this area functions today. So again, I'm fully in support of this rezoning and the inclusion of DEICT in the area. I think it'd be a tremendous boost to the area, economic diversity and vibrancy in the neighborhood, and the Vancouver economy as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, are there any additional speakers in the chamber? If so, please come forward to the podium. Clerk, are there any additional speakers online?
There are not.
Okay, this is the third and final call for speakers. If there are any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 1061445 # before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and displayed during the recess. So we're now going to take a 2-minute recess for any additional speakers to come in or come forward to the podium. Awesome. Right? Yep, we'll go through a few things and then we can give you some time, Mike. Okay, do we have quorum? 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 online? Cameras on? Awesome, thank you very much. Okay, so Clerk, do we have any additional speakers in the chamber or online?
We do not, Mayor.
Okay, seeing a no few.
I was checking online.
Or did you?
Yep, okay. Sarah McLeod, please go ahead.
I'll just be super quick. Yeah, because it says it's over 2,200 square meters, the area. So, I mean, based on the tree bylaw, it does say that you should try to get 16 trees there. Right now, the proposal is none. It is proposing 5 more additional street trees. But actually, this is just a question I have. Maybe I'll call 311 later. Like, I've seen in a bunch of projects, people proposing street trees. But that's separate from the other one. Like, there's a separate street tree bylaw that there is to the tree protection bylaw. Those are 2 separate bylaws. So I don't think that, like, accommodating somewhere else doesn't eliminate the other ones somewhere in the other spot. Yeah, I don't know. Just thought I'd throw it out there as something to keep in mind while working on something. I don't mean it to be like a difficult thing. It's just like another way to get creative, right? And I'm looking, and just considering the pops, like, I'm trying to read a little bit more about it, but if you're trying to encourage people and a diversity of people to go there, I see so many people sitting underneath trees. Trees are welcoming. People see themselves in trees. That'd be a way to get people to go to this publicly or privately owned public space. And then I think I've seen the same team present a similar project with also this digital space here. And I said the same thing last time, that it's different than a studio space, but even Ingmar Bergman, when he had his film studio, it was very much based around nature. Like, over 50% of his film studio was nature, because artists recognize themselves in nature. So I know it's going to be digital drawing and animation, and that's the way the industry is going. But, like, sometimes you still got to look at a tree to be able to draw it, or maybe not. These guys are professionals, but it gives inspiration to everyone. So not to be like I can't even think of an expression right now, but just as a possibility, sometimes the additional, I don't want to say constraints, but additional anyways, I think you guys get what I'm saying. Just it'd be cool to humor it or to think about it.
Thank you very much. Okay, are there any additional speakers?
No, they're not, Mayor.
Great, seeing no further speakers, the speakers list is now closed. Clerk, has there been a large volume of public comments received since 5 p.m. on this item?
There has not been.
Okay, so I'm now going to close the receipt of public comments. Does the applicant have any closing comments? Do our team members have any closing comments?
No closing comments, thank you.
Does council have any final questions for our team members, noting no additional questions to the applicant are permitted? Councillor Klassen.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. I've just submitted an amendment here. It's I confess it's a bit of a work in progress, because we are, our staff team here. I think we're all kind of learning a little bit about this right now, but I think I really do think it's important for us to kind of put a stake in the ground on this, and not for this particular application, but just generally for the city. I think we're starting to see the evolving growth of this sector, and these neighborhoods would really absorb a lot of that demand for space, working space. So if you don't mind putting that amendment up there, and I think I would like to hear back from our staff team as to whether, it demands a little bit more tweaking. Thanks very much. And so I guess we can put that amendment up.
Please. Yeah. Oh, okay, so first we have to, okay, so, yeah. So we'll take a recess first, then we'll move the motion, then we'll do the amendment. Okay, if we can take a quick 2-minute recess?
Great.
Does that work? Great, thank you.
Thanks. Lisa, can I get you to second?
Okay, so should I come back? No. More to come. Okay. So did we receive any additional public comments since the close of public comments? Oh, sorry, I forgot about that. 2 minutes left. Councillor, you have 2 minutes left? 3 minutes left, okay.
I put something forward here. What are your sort of quick take on it?
Thank you. Josh White, General Manager, Planning, Urban Design, and Sustainability. We believe the effect of what that amendment would do would to add additional flexibility for that use on at least an additional 1.0 floor space. We have a fairly high degree of confidence that would keep us on side with Metro. It may not fully satisfy what the applicant is seeking in terms of total flexibility across all floor area. Nevertheless, what I will say is that further text amendment could be available in the future if that was sought, or the applicant can also see what emerges with the Mount Pleasant policy review, and if any changes happen through that, we could work with them to apply those changes to their zoning as well. But what's in front of you does add it certainly a tangible increase in flexibility for that particular use that's being sought.
Perhaps stating the obvious here, during the construction and development time, some of these policy matters will be hashed out, very likely, especially if we're dealing directly with Metro Vancouver.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks very much. Okay, so Mayor, I have an amendment here. I've had a chance to talk to some of my fellow councillors here in the chamber here, so I am submitting it for.
I think we have to move the motion first.
Okay.
Okay. Hold on to that thought.
You betcha. Thank you.
30 seconds. Okay, so thank you, Councillor. Clerk, did we receive any additional public comments since the close of the public comments?
We have not.
Okay, great. So, Council, we're now going to make a decision on this application. Do we have a mover for the recommendations? Councillor Claassen, seconded by Councillor Dominato. Council members, is there any discussion? And I believe Councillor Claassen, you'd like to follow an amendment. So we're going to go to the amendment queue, and please go ahead.
Thanks very much. Mayor and Council, I have an amendment that I think helps to bridge the gap. We have a strong and growing tech sector. We have an ideal location and a building that will eventually, when it appears out of the ground, will potentially be a place where hundreds, if not thousands, of tech industry workers would be going to work. So I would submit this with the hope that Council will support this, and it'll allow us to do the work we need to do to try and make sure that we support the evolving tech sector in the Mount Pleasant area.
Thank you very much. Councillor Maloney.
Thanks. This sounds like a really positive improvement. I'd appreciate it if I could ask the Director of Planning through the Chair to comment on the implications of it. Would that be possible? Or anyone?
Another recess to rewrite, because I think there's an unintended thing that you might have, that would be good.
I agree to that.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll take another, how many minute recess? 2, 5, 2 minutes? Perfect. Thank you.
Excuse me, if you could
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, Councillor Maloney, you're still in the queue. Did you?
Yeah, I'll stop for now
Okay,
in
great.
anticipation of a new amendment.
Councillor Klassen.
Okay, thanks, Mayor. Okay, thanks everybody for helping out on this one. So I'll withdraw that amendment and I will table an updated amendment, which we can put on the screen, and that would need a seconder. Lisa?
And do you have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Dominato.
Wrong one. The wrong one. Kevin, did you put the updated one? Sorry.
All right, we're going to take another 2-minute recess.
There we go. Okay, I just sent it. Should get it there momentarily.
Before we put it on the screen, you have to move it and we need a seconder. Great. Councillor Dominato, thank you very much. If we can please get it on the screen now. Thank you. Great. Thank you very much. Councillor Klassen, please go ahead.
Thanks, Mayor. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, staff. So again, the intent here, I believe, is what we're trying to do, that will allow us to make sure we can support this use in this property. I don't think I need to say anything more about it.
Great. Thank you very much. Councillor Maloney.
Yeah, I was just going to ask through the chair if perhaps the Director of Planning or one of the staff might like to comment on the implications of this amendment.
So it would effectively take the industrial-only designation zoning from a 3 minimum FSR to a 2 minimum FSR and allow the office space, including the uses you talked about, which are defined under general office, and it would increase the flexibility in the floor area that could be used for those uses up to 4.
Great. Thanks very much.
Great. Thank you. Okay, seeing no one else in the queue, why don't we put the amendment to a vote? Great, and that passes unanimously. Okay, so why don't we just go back to the main queue? Councillor Clausen, any other comments?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Great, thank you. Seeing no one else in the queue, I'm now going to call a vote on the rezoning as amended. So can please go to the voting panel. Great, and that passes unanimously as well. So that completes item number 4. Congratulations. Okay, item number 5, CD-1 rezoning, 1676 West 11th Avenue. Thank you, everyone. Before we begin this agenda item, if anyone has a conflict of interest, now is the time to declare it. Seeing no show of hands, we'll just keep moving on. The clerk's now going to read the application and summary of correspondence received.
This is an application by Villa Capri Enterprises Limited to rezone 1676 West 11th Avenue from RM-3 Multiple Dwelling District to CD-1 Comprehensive Development District to permit the development of a 19-story residential building containing 176 market rental units, with 20% of the residential floor area for below market rental units. A floor space ratio of 6.6 and a height of 61 meters, or 200 feet, with additional height for rooftop amenity space are proposed. The General Manager of Planning, Urban Design, and Sustainability recommends approval, subject to conditions set out in the summary and recommendation. The following correspondence has been received since referral to the public hearing: 3 pieces of correspondence in opposition, and 2 pieces of correspondence dealing with other aspects of the application. And this represents all correspondence received up to 5 p.m. today.
Great, thank you very much. Now, this is the first call for speakers. Any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 106-1445#. Before the close of the speakers list, the phone number will be posted on X and displayed during the recess. There will be an opportunity for new speakers and missed speakers to be heard at the end of the registered speakers list. Now, we do have our team members from Planning, Urban Design, and Sustainability here to present the application.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Andrew Misiak, and I'm the rezoning planner for this application, considered under the Broadway Plan. Council, please note this application before you is accompanied with a yellow memo that notes the R3, R4, R5 district schedules that were enacted earlier today. The yellow memo specifies that the new zone for this site is R54. The site shown in red is located on the south side of West 11th Avenue between Pine Street and 1st Street. The site is comprised of 3 lots, and the surrounding area is zoned RM3. The properties are currently developed with 1 3-story residential building with 31 rental units. Eligible tenants are protected under the Enhanced Tenant Relocation and Protection Policy. The neighborhood is undergoing significant change with a future Broadway subway station 2 blocks away at Granville and Broadway, which is scheduled to open in 2027. The site is well served by public transit, bike routes, parks, childcare, and community facilities. It is 500 meters away from the future Granville Station. There is also bus service available within 400 meters for the 9, 99, 16, and N17 routes. This application is being considered under the Broadway Plan. The site is located in the Fairview South Area A sub-area. The plan permits 20-story market rental buildings with 20% of the residential floor area secured as below-market units. The maximum density is 6.5 FSR. The application was originally submitted December 20th, 2023. The applicant proposes a 19-story tower with rooftop amenities. The project includes 176 rental units, of which 20% are below market units. A density of 6.6 FSR and a height of 200 feet are proposed. This table compares below market rents and the market rents by unit type. Starting rents for the below market units are to be discounted 20% from below citywide average market rents. The below market rental units range from $1,960 for a studio and $4,412 for a 3-bedroom. A virtual Q&A period was held from April 27th to May 7th, 2024, and 88 pieces of feedback were received. Support was expressed for height and density, rental housing units, and design. Concerns were related to height and density, affordability, tenant displacement, and traffic. With respect to building height, density, and massing, the application is consistent with the intent of the Broadway Plan, which helps provide new secured rental housing with below-market housing in close proximity to transit routes, services, and shopping amenities in the neighborhood. Affordability. The proposal adds much-needed rental and affordable housing supply to the neighborhood. With respect to tenant displacement, the applicant has provided a tenant relocation plan for eligible tenants which meet the requirements of the city's TRPP and the Broadway Plan area. Regarding traffic, the application meets the requirement of the parking bylaw and will need to provide a transportation demand management plan at time of development permit. Staff anticipate an overall reduction in vehicle trips with the completion of the Broadway subway. The public benefits of this application consist of 176 market rental units with 20% of the residential floor area for below market rental units. The applicant also requested 100% waiver of the citywide DCLs for the residential floor area. This application will still be required to provide utility DCL and a public art contribution. In conclusion, this proposal aligns with the Broadway Plan and advances the city's rental housing targets. Staff recommend approval of this application subject to conditions outlined in Appendix B of the report. Staff and the applicant team are available to answer questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Would the applicant like to present the application if in attendance?
Good evening, Mayor and members of Council. My name is Wing Liang. I'm the architect making the application that is before you this evening. We've read the planning staff report to Council. We're comfortable with the conditions outlined therein, and we're confident that we'll be able to meet them. Be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions from council to our team members or the applicant, noting that this is the only opportunity for council to ask questions of the applicant? Seeing no one in the queue, this is the second call for speakers. If there are any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 106-1445# before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and displayed during the recess. We're now going to hear from the public. Any registered speakers in the council chamber, please come forward to the podium when your name is called. Speakers will have up to 5 minutes to make their comments and should limit their comments to the merits of the report being considered. So our first speaker today is speaker number 1, Louis Villegas. Is Lewis here? Up? Yep, there we go. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a presentation. Next slide, please. My name is Louis Villegas. I'm a Vancouver resident with 40 years' experience in urban design and working in Vancouver and Canada. Next slide, please. This site is advertised for sale on the Collier's website with the following text. Current owner has submitted a rezoning application, a major time and cost savings to the potential buyer. So what we're really approving today is a flip. Next slide, please. Too bad about the neighborhood, the people that will be evicted, and the future families that will be wrecked by living in tiny, puny egg crate apartments. The more height, the more density, the more crate units, the more profits flowing to the developer cabal. The planners ought to know that this photo from Steve's model is not good urbanism. Planners dedicating their professional careers to building this crap, then walking through the revolving door to take up posts in industry are just not my idea of professional conduct. Next slide, please. This is what good urbanism looks like. A 100-year-old commercial street cafe sees human scale houses behind it and to the left. Across the street, a 2-story commercial building is awaiting redevelopment to add 2 floors on top. This scene plays out across every city and in the regions, making towers outside the downtown peninsula immoral. Notice how half of the slide above the dotted white line, we can see blue sky. All of it would be blocked from view by towers like the one being permitted tonight. Next slide, please. Simply put, the housing crisis has been manufactured by government and its irresponsible land lift policy. Next. An entire sector of the economy is being run hot in order to extract revenues, sell mortgages, stub investment portfolios, you name it. Next. Rather than building modern transportation, government continues to build the SkyTrain. Next. It's a binary choice. Deliver all this service or extend the SkyTrain to UBC. We could do 3 times more route, 7 times less cost, saving $4 billion that can then deliver an additional 80 kilometers of streetcar route to Chilliwack or to Whistler, adding 450% more passenger capacity in the process. Next. Government SkyTrain fiasco builds 11 times less route for the same buck. Why? Because if people were afforded a choice, they would choose to live somewhere else outside the land lift bubble. Next. Revitalization, not towerization. I cut my teeth designing revitalization projects with small BC towns and municipalities before completing projects within urbanism in the US. Next. A UBC LRT streetcar saves so much, there will be $4.1 billion left to do other things. Take people where they really need to go into the regional periphery and then into the neighboring regions, where Crown land is still available to build gap, guaranteed affordable houses in perpetuity, in sufficient quantity to meet or exceed demand. But it's not just about cost. LRT streetcar also shapes good urbanism. Next. As government, you are, a binary choice confronts you today. Many of the staff that you rely on for guidance here and at TransLink use a revolving door, and they will not recommend against the best interests of their potential future employers. In this sense, it is both staffers and politicians that are beholden to industry. Next.
Thank you. I just would invite the chair to ask speakers to refrain from insulting staff and talking about irrelevant things.
If we can monitor the language, Lewis, that'd be great.
I think I'm using my rights to free speech in Canada, and everything that I'm saying is true. I'm not insulting anybody, but I am being interrupted in my 5 minutes.
I've given you a little bit of leeway there. So if we want to refer back to the first minute of your speech, when you use the word crap in an offensive manner, and then you also use what could be construed as derogatory, references to our team members, you're playing in a gray area there.
Yeah, I am.
And so we do have rules here as well. And so if you can please abide by them, that would be great.
Well, I appreciate, Mayor, your patience and the council's. I don't think I'm speaking out of line. I'm just speaking truth to power. If we can go to my last slide and see what is happening in a neighborhood that is getting a tower built. The tower is being built on the street, on public right-of-way. I mean, this is not a third world country. People should be able to construct. I mean, they do it in New York, they do it all over. You should be able to construct your building from inside your site without spilling out into the neighborhood
And we're timing
everybody. Yeah, and I hope that everybody appreciated using half of my time for making their irrelevant comments.
Actually, I gave you an extra 40 seconds there, Louis.
And you took up about 2.5 minutes. Thank you.
Great. Our next speaker is Stephen Boas.
Okay, thank you, Mayor and Council. I'm a renter and a resident of Vancouver. I'm opposed to this rezoning, and I'm also standing in solidarity with many of the thousands of renters who potentially will stand to lose their homes under the Broadway plan. The BC assessment for this property was $19,560,000 in 2025, majority in land value. In 2024, the assessment was $12,519,000. So that's a 64% jump in value with this rezoning going on. And a lot of tenants are essentially pawns and they are collateral damage. Nearby on 1741 West 10th, a building was sold for $25,250,000 on March 24th of this year. So it's a larger frontage. They're at 250 feet. This is 150 foot. So how much more profit can you get from reselling this? Next slide. So as Louis mentioned before me, this is listed on Collier's for sale. And it's been out there for a while, and staff have not mentioned that it is for sale. So this is purely a speculative play. It's not for building housing, it's for building profits. Next slide. And you can see, as Louis mentioned, that the active rezoning application is being sold as a major time and cost savings to a potential buyer. That's what's in the brochure. Next slide. Look at the staff presentation. The staff admit that this floor space ratio is 6.6. And last time I checked, 6.6 is greater than 6.5, which is the maximum allowed for this policy. You have grounds to vote this down, and I hope at least one councilor will vote against this terrible proposal. The density does not align with the plan. It does not generally align with the plan, and the urban design principles of neighborliness. It's not about adding a 6-foot or 5-foot green buffer in the rear lawn. It's about setbacks and livability. Next slide. I've done this rendering. The building is to the left. It's a massing model built on from what's on Shape Your City. The other tower was approved in June of last year. It's a huge impact on the streetscape. And you can also see that there isn't a lot of vehicle parking. With the additional slew of parking slots demanded by residents, you're going to have you're going to have a lot of shortages of on-street parking. Next slide. This is also a wide-angle lens view of Pine Street and 12th. See the huge difference in scale. It's not human scale, and it's incredibly close to the property line, so there's very little setback. 3.5, 3.7 meters. I couldn't scale the drawing quite there, but it's in that range. It's a very minimum setback, and it's not neighborly. Next slide. You can see the existing 4-story building. It's transparent, and this is what I call form follows profit. That's what it is. Next slide. That's the original photo taken this February. Next slide. Now I've got a computer model here that shows trees and the context there with the massing model to the right. Next slide. This is on ground level looking west on West 11th. Next slide. This is from Pine, very dark with long shadows. Next slide. This is also from Pine at the corner of West 11th. Looking east, you can see it's very dark. Next slide. And you really have to crane your neck up to see the top of the towers, which is the next slide. That's from the same position. So it's very hard to visualize how massive these Broadway plan towers are. Next slide. And this is what we have here, and this is a speculative play. This is not for building housing, it's for flipping the property and extracting more from a rezoning. And the tenants are just collateral damage, and I would urge council to vote against this. We do have grounds to vote against it, and also with any Vancouver ODP, really consider preserving rental stock like this and make it off limits to rezoning, or make it very difficult to rezone buildings like this, because these are the ones that should be safe. Next slide. That's another view of what's being proposed. So thank you for your time, and that is the view of what's on Shape Your City, because the latest drawings have not been posted yet there.
Great.
Thank you.
Your time. Thank you very much, Stephen. Our next speaker, speaker number 3, Barbara Neff. Barbara, are you on the line?
Yes. Yes, I'm online.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, okay, can you hear me?
We can hear you great. Please go ahead.
You can hear me? Okay. My name is Barb Neff. I live in Fairview, across the lane from the proposed tower at 1676 West 11th Avenue, and I've lived in the area for many years. I originally said I approved of this or was in favor, but it was only because I was hoping that the planning department would take a look at this and realize that there are 3 towers in this vicinity, and that they're really going to destroy the quality of the people living in those lower buildings. I especially object to the, I think it's 1726 tower, because it's destroying 20 trees, 20 beautiful high trees. Anyway, that aside, I live at 2776 Pine Street, near the intersection of Pine and West 11th. Council has already approved a 2-tower development, as I said, at 1726 West 11th, which is Kitty Corner, and another tower across the street from this 1676 West 11th Avenue property. I've sent a separate document to council. Are you hearing this? I would request some feedback, please.
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
You can hear me. Okay. I've sent a separate document to council showing that and we used the figures that were the original figures because that's all we felt we could find, that 111 units are being removed while adding 633 units in these 4 towers. The net increase of 522 units represents about 900 additional people in this small area of approximately 8,000 square meters. The Broadway plan projects an increase of 64,000 people over the entire area, which is estimated to be 860 hectares. This is an average of about 7.5 people additional per 1,000 square meters, or about 60 additional people in the area of these 4 proposed towers. Instead of 60 additional people, these 4 towers will add 900 additional people in the near future, while the Broadway plan covers a 30-year period. The projected 900 people is based on each new unit in this 8,000-meter area having 1.7 residents as per the Vancouver Fairview census data. Also, these 4 towers will only provide 127 affordable units while removing 111 affordable units, an increase of only 16 affordable units. Asking Mayor and Councillor to request from the Planning Department some guidelines on when an application can or will be denied, as we have not seen any denials in this area. Or perhaps the planners could pace the development over 30 years of the plan. Then I suggest you ask your legal department how lawsuits from developers re uneven treatment will be handled in the future. And citizens might want to sue over unlivable density and conditions during construction. The planner should also consider how these projects will impact Pine Street, which is designated as a future greenway on page 377 of the Broadway plan, and the blue-green system, page 468 in the Broadway plan. Also consider that more than 20 mature trees are being removed, as I mentioned before. The Broadway plan states that the greenways should have wide, continuous pathways, street trees, and rainwater management. This is on page 378 and illustrated on page 399. Please take into account the very high density proposed in a small area. Your planner mentioned that there is park space, but overall Fairview does not have much park space. We will have to cross 11 to get to the area around 16th and Fir. Please consider the lack of flexibility for future generations in these plans. Also, it seems that I am reading a lot about the inner cores of cities emptying out, which is what is going to be done. It's going to happen with this kind of development. Also, a recent Globe and Mail article just this past weekend, Saturday, stated that rentals are a tough nut to crack, and developers are finding it hard to get rent up of their
And I'm
building.
sorry, we're at time. Thank you very much for calling in. Okay, if there are any additional speakers in the chamber, please come forward to the podium. Clerk, are there any additional speakers online?
There are not.
Great. Okay, so this is the third and final call for speakers. If there are any speakers for this item who wish to speak to council, please call toll free at 1-833-353-8610, followed by participant code 1061-445# before the close of the speakers list. The phone number will be posted on X and displayed during the recess. We're now going to take a 2-minute recess for any additional speakers to call in or come forward to the podium. So, Clerk, do we have any additional speakers in the chamber or online? Councilors online, if someone can turn their camera on, please. Great, thank you. So, Clerk, do we have any additional speakers in the chamber or online?
We do not.
Seeing no further speakers, the speakers list is now closed. Has there been a large volume of public comments received on this item since 5 p.m.?
There has not been.
Great, thank you. Seeing that there are few or no public comments received after 5 p.m., I'm now going to close the receipt of public comments. Does the applicant have any closing comments? Oh, thank you. Do our team members have any closing comments?
No closing comments.
Thank you. Does council have any final questions for the team, noting that no additional questions to the applicant are permitted? Seeing no one in the queue, I'm going to move on. Clerk, did we receive any additional public comments since the close of public comments?
We did not.
Okay, I'm going to remind council that we need to move the recommendation for item 5 together with a yellow memo entitled CD-1 rezoning 1675 West 11th Avenue. Sorry, 1670, thank you very much. 1676 West 11th Avenue. Amendments to recommendation A dated October the 17th, 2025. 2025, that's right. Council will now make its decision on this application. Do we have a mover for the recommendation? Councillor Dominato, thank you. Councillor Claassen, seconded. Council members, is there any discussion? Seeing no one in the queue, I am now going to call the vote. A reminder that any council member participating virtually whose video is disabled will be marked absent for the vote pursuant to section 14.13 of the procedure bylaw. Okay, if we can please go to the voting panel, and we are going to call the vote. Do we get that? Councillor Dominato, vote assist in favor. Okay, and that passes unanimously, and that completes item number 5. Thank you very much. We do need a motion to adjourn. Councillor Claassen, seconded by Councillor Dominato. All those in favor, say yay. All those opposed, say nay. Great, the motion is carried. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Good night.